In this video, I'm gonna be analyzing my sister Belle's topspin serve. Let's jump right into it. Here I'm comparing my own serve to Belle's serve. We're just gonna play it out the first time. And now we're gonna break it down and go frame by frame on ways she could improve her serve and different tips and tricks. The first tip I wanna give is that the rhythm seems slightly off. Belle appears to go up with her legs as she's tossing the ball. Whereas when you toss the ball, you should be going down. So do you see how Belle's legs are bent to start? And then as she goes to toss the ball, they straighten. So the opposite should happen. You should be going down if you look over here. As I toss the ball, you should be going down into your knees and loading. So that's number one, rhythm is slightly off. The second pointer I wanna give is that Belle's arm is bent when she takes it back. If you see here, Belle's arm is bent, and what I'd like to see is more of a straight arm like this during the take back. This will help give a little more momentum for easy power. And we'll be seeing some other pros later on also doing this similar motion. Tip number 3 involves the left arm. If you watch closely, you'll see that Belle's left arm comes down too quickly and gets out of the way too quickly for a topspin serve. If you look at the difference here between my left arm and Belle's left arm, my left arm is up and basically blocking myself from rotating too much. And Belle's is already out to the left. On the topspin serve, you want to stay turned away from the court for longer so that you can hit up and out at the ball to get that topspin. And here we can see that Belle's chest is facing the court. And with me, my left shoulder is facing the court, my left hip is facing the court. So it's a very slight difference, but it'll help a lot on your topspin if you're staying more turned away from the court instead of having your chest facing the court. Something that may help is to think of keeping that left arm up as if it's blocking you from turning your chest to face the court. That might help you stay turned more. Now let's focus on the body weight. I'd like Belle's body weight to finish inside the court. So if you see here, I'm doing a very relaxed serve. However, my body weight is going inside the court and I'm finishing at least a few feet inside the court, whereas Belle is still behind the baseline. And so I'd like Belle to think about landing inside the court, like right here. This will help her get more power on the ball as well and will take away time from the opponent. Now we're going to look at the side view comparing Belle's serve to my serve. We're going to play it through one time here. Again, look at the left arm difference at contact. If you see, my left arm is out in front there and Belle's left arm is all the way down by her side already, even at contact. And that's too soon. It needs to stay up for longer so that you can stay turned for longer and hit the ball up and out to get more topspin. And here we can see after Belle hits the ball that her chest is just facing the court way too much. I'm turned towards the court slightly and it's a very slight difference. However, it makes a big change if you stay more turned away from the court even a little bit in regards to how much topspin you're gonna get on the ball. And again, we see that my momentum and body weight are all shifting into the court and I land a good few feet inside the court, whereas Belle is still behind the baseline. She may have even moved backwards a little bit. Now we're comparing Iga Swiatek's topspin serve from the back view compared to Belle's. First tip we're gonna see here is the same as we saw before. It's the straight arm take back that you'll see here versus Belle's bent arm. Not necessarily wrong having a bent arm, however, it may be more beneficial to have a straight arm on the take back to give some more momentum. So we'll be looking to make that change. Again, we'll see here that Belle's arm is slightly too far out to the left and Iga's is in front of her body there, blocking her from turning and facing the court too much because she's trying to get a topspin serve and she wants to hit the ball up and out. Something else I'd like to point out here is actually the wrist position. At contact, and this is very important, Iga's wrist position is neutral, whereas Belle's is already ulnarly deviated, meaning the wrist is deviated towards the ulnar bone. And this is too soon. It's not the wrong move, but it's happening too early. So you can see Belle's racket here is almost vertical and Iga's is a lot more towards the left. And this is important because in the topspin serve, you want to be hitting the ball down lower and then traveling up and out this way. So the problem arises if your racket's already so high, then you have less room to hit the ball and travel up. Whereas if you started lower, you would get more topspin on the ball because you would be able to travel further upward for longer. Now let's continue with the serve here. And you'll see that Iga also ulnarly deviates her wrist. And you can see that right here. So it's a good idea to ulnarly deviate your wrist on the topspin serve, but it becomes a problem if you're doing it too early. You have to do it at the right time. As we continue here, similarly to what we talked about before, we need to get Belle's body momentum moving inside the court so Belle lands further inside the court and not so far back. Something else I want us to practice for a while is finishing with both arms on the same side. Now, it's not wrong to finish with the right arm out to the right side here, especially during the topspin serve. You can definitely see some pros doing that. However, to get the basics down and to get the proper mechanics down, we're gonna wanna be finishing with both arms on the left side because it's a nice and fluid motion. Here we got Belle's serve up against Diego Schwartzman. I chose Diego because it may not make sense to compare your serve to people who aren't the same build as you or aren't the same height. Diego's around 5'7", so it definitely makes sense. And he has a great serve. With Diego against Belle's serve, let's focus on the wrist position again. Diego's wrist position is more neutral, and Belle's is already ulnarly deviated at contact. So we definitely want to change that. We want to get Belle's racket down a little more at contact. And here we've got Roger Federer's serve against Belle's. So one thing I want to point out with Federer's serve against Belle's serve, and this is similar to what we talked about before. So with Federer's serve, you're going to see his foot turned away from the court, hip turned away from the court, his left shoulder, right, is going to be facing the net, and you're going to see his left arm there blocking himself from turning and having his chest face in the court. He doesn't want his chest face in the court on his topspin serve. Maybe on his other serves that would be okay, but on the topspin serve he wants to stay turned away from the court so he can hit the ball up and out. As Federer hits the ball, he's basically aiming up and out along the baseline, if you can imagine that. So he's thinking of hitting the ball in that direction, whereas if he were hitting a flat serve, he may aim more straight, and if he was hitting a slice serve, he may aim more diagonally with his swing path, that is. And Federer's finishing with both arms on the left side there, just a nice and fluid finish. Thank you all so much for watching. Now, if you would like me to analyze one of your strokes as well and be featured on the YouTube channel, head over to the Hartman Tennis official website. I do offer a service there. So if you are interested in that, be sure to check that out, and I'll see you next time.